For some time now, I've been looking into an alternative method of pumping gear oil into equipment. Many of you are familiar with these bucket pumps, and they have some flaws. The tops aren't exactly sealed, they can pick up rainwater, they collect dust in the shop, and for modern cleanliness standards, they're really not the greatest. So I wanted to see what else was out there. One thing I had been using personally was an old fire extinguisher. I know this isn't the intended purpose, but some of these old stainless steel fire extinguishers meant to just for water have an easily removable top. They have their own pressure gauge. They even have a Schrader valve on them. And what I did, I've taken a few of these over the years, repurposed them, cleaned them out, filled them with oil. I write what oil is on them, write it with a Sharpie marker, I can wipe off later, and then pressurize them with air up to about 100 psi, and I can use that to dispense oil. It's pretty handy, but these don't seem to be readily available anymore, at least not for a low cost, so it wasn't really a sustainable option to recommend. Here at the school, we were looking for a few different options. We tried a suction type, which is a great tool. A lot of times these can be used with transmissions to evacuate the system. We've used it on a Bobcat skid steer to pull the oil out of the reservoir, and it can also dispense the fluid, but it tended to be slow. It wasn't the fastest method. It is cleanly, but it takes a while. So really the best method that I've found or have settled on at this point is this large capacity gearbox filling system available from Astro. I'll put a link in the description. We purchased ours on Amazon. And this is it right here. It has a nice pump. You turn the handle and you can then pump the oil and dispense it. It has a filling cap on this end. It's not the biggest opening for filling it with oil, but it does work. You will need to use a funnel when you're filling it with a 5-gallon bucket, but it pumps easily, pumps quite a bit of oil, and it doesn't take too long. It's an efficient way. It has its own little collection container on the side that you will need to empty over time. So we've been happy with this. Now the one flaw I saw on it is on the filler cap, which you give just a quarter turn, you can lift it off. It's also a nice spout to pour out of. But it has an open hole there. There is nothing sealing that. It needs to be vented, so that's the reason for the open hole. But what I found is we run a lot of John Deere equipment on them, and John Deere right now is using this breather on some of their hydraulic tanks, even their diesel exhaust fluid tanks. I'll put the part number in the description. This is a used one off one of our machines, and it just so happens that the threads on this fit perfectly in this opening. So now that open hole is sealed but still vented. So we modified ours. I imagine we'll be purchasing a few more to use in the shop. Obviously we want to label them with the oil that we're using, but this seems like a good alternative. The top is sealed. It'll hold up to 15 liters, which is just about 4 gallons of oil. So just want to put that recommendation out there if you're looking for something that will be prevent contamination while it's sitting in the shop and be more sustainable or better suited for the cleanliness standards of modern equipment. Thanks.